And good evening, everyone, and welcome to Lake Cumberland Sports preseason baseball, softball coaches preview here from Buffalo Wings and Rings on South Highway 27. We're going to talk to representatives of all three local high schools' baseball and softball programs, and we'll start this thing off tonight with my first guest, and that's Brad Gover. Most of you all know Brad Gover, but anyway, he is the head softball coach out at Pulaski County. Coach, good to see you.
Oh, it's good to be here.
And I appreciate you coming out. You have brought the crowd, and we appreciate that. Got a pretty good team coming back. You lost one senior who was a non-starter, and you've only got one senior on this team this year, but you've got big hopes for this one.
Yeah, we should be pretty good this year if the coaching staff doesn't mess it up.
There you go. Yeah.
Everything that I've seen so far in practice has been great. The girls love to be there. Skill-wise, it's great to watch. We've got great leaders this year, and I expect a huge year.
Your bunch gets along well, too. I've been around them some, but just them mingling here over to our right while they came in, you can just see the fact this bunch likes each other, and that's got to be a good thing if you're a coach.
Oh, yeah. Everything that we do, the whole group does it. You may have one that doesn't show up because of sickness or things, but, 90% of them is going to be there, and they want to be there. You don't have to say you need to be there at this time. All you got to do is mention something, and they're all come running.
Let's start singling this bunch out. You've got one senior. That's Eva Gover, and we've seen her. I think she's played since the 7th grade, right?
6th grade.
6th grade. Okay, I knew it was. I've watched her for years. A rock in your lineup, and there's a big bat in the lineup as well as a defensive player and a leader. And again, she's your lone senior. But if I've only got one, I'd like to have one like her.
Yeah, she's been great so far as leading this bunch. She almost seems like a mom to them that she's been here so long. This is her 7th year, but her bat has been exceptional from the 6th grade on. She's carried over a 340 batting average from the 6th grade all the way to now. I can't say enough about her. She's not the most athletic girl in the world, but she seems to know what she's doing. And with her size and length at first base, she's one of the toughest around.
Oh, yeah, I've watched her. You don't have to compliment her. I will. I've watched her, like I said, ever since we started this. You've got another young lady who's got a lot of press, and rightfully so, and is probably going to be a Miss Softball candidate, if not already, and committed to play at the D1 level already in the SEC. Riley Hull is a pretty good softball player.
I'll go ahead and put it out there. She is the best player in this state.
There you go.
I'm not going to hide it. I think she is. Her play backs it up. Everybody that we play, it's the first thing out of their mouth is, where's this girl going to play at? Well, that was her freshman year. Now as a junior, everybody knows when we go play them, she doesn't get the best of pitching in the world, and rightfully so. You can't say enough about her as far as defensively, offensively, what she does on the field, off the field. She's just a class act all over.
Now we're going to – that pitching around her thing, we're going to expand the lineup a little bit right here. You may want to if you're an opposing coach, but 1 through 9, this is going to be a very, very good offensive softball team.
Yeah. As good as Riley is, you're not going to be able to pitch around her.
Right.
If you do, you're going to pay for it, and that's the good thing. We'll probably throw in 4 or 5 lineups before the year's out, but it's almost to the point to where, you can do that and still be productive. This team's going to be very explosive. We played a Barron County team this past weekend, and they're a 31-5 team last year and got their pitcher back. So I was anxious to see how we would do, and we jumped on her pretty quick. We put 9 runs up. We did make a couple errors, that led to some runs, but overall – everybody in the lineup had hits, and that was a good thing.
Let's run down that lineup. We'll start in the middle of the circle, and that's Kaylee Strunk's area, but you've told me you're not a one-pitcher team right now. You've got some help, but let's talk about the pitching situation.
Kaylee's going to be the rock most of the year. She has gotten much better with her off-speed stuff. When she was a freshman, sophomore, her changeup was the only thing that she was basically lacking of being that next level pitcher. She's got that now. We can start it off. I've always said I like my pitchers to be able to start off and throw 2 or 3 straight change-ups to you and throw them for strikes. Well, she can do that now. So you don't really know what's coming. And she's also worked on a rise ball. It's looking pretty good. And she's great with control. If she can get down the count 3-0, I'm not worried a bit. She can come back, throw a fastball in the corners, and paint the corners all night long. So
let's spin it on around the infield, the middle of the infield. Is that where the Countrymen's are going to be?
Countrymen's are looking to be at short and second.
That's
yes.
what I thought, and they're the Twins, and it's not fair to them. I'm guilty of it. I refer to them as a package, but they are individuals, but they can both play.
Yes, and it's great to have them because they know what the other one's going to do. And as middle infield, you know, if you've got that, you're a step above already. They know where the other one's going to be and when they're going to be there, and it's great to have. And now they've got they're in sync with Riley a little bit more, so pick-off moves, just knowing when people are going to do things, it means a lot on softball field.
Ella's still going to be at third base?
Bella.
Yep. I will say this. She started last year as a 7th grader, right?
Yes.
She hit a softball in season that I saw last year that caused me to go, oh, my, and I can hardly wait to watch her swing the bat.
She's dangerous. When we're in practice doing batting practice, I don't allow any of the girls to get in the infield. That's how hard this girl hits the ball. She hit one today that probably went 280 feet in the air. It cleared the building in center field and went to the creek dead center.
And 200 feet's plenty in softball, right?
It was the hardest hit I think I've seen in the past 8 years.
If you hear echo in the background, they're streaming this live here at Buffalo Wings and Rings. There's a few second delay, but you were hearing yourself in the background.
I was hearing something.
And it's kind of like the old today. But anyway, we've got that fixed. Everything's good. So, anyway, they are showing this live inside, and
that's great.
It's good out here
great.
now. All right, let's go around the outfield because we're going to get around to who you're going to play against this year and scheduling and coaches. But let's spin the outfield first.
Okay, in left field I've got Dawn Wilson. Center field I've got Molly Nelson. In right field I've got Holly Barron.
Anybody else you want to talk about of your younger players or the ones that are going to be seeing some action as we come along? I
would like to take note from my outfielders, Dawn and Molly. Those two are going to be two of the fastest players that you're going to see in the region. They're at least top 5. Their control of the bat has gotten unbelievable. Like I was telling you earlier, Dawn, she can place the ball as good as anybody I've seen. Soft slap, hard slap, drag bunt, and then you've got Molly that can, in high school, when you see a lefty come up looking in a slapper stance, they want to creep in. Well, Molly can take the ball and hit it out of the park on you. It's dangerous to come up on her, and when we see that, I tell her to hit away, and she can hit ball line drives off the wall. And then if you back up, she can lay it down. And then I've got Holly Barron in right field that, we talk about Bella hitting the ball hard. Holly can hit it just as hard. That girl has improved unbelievable with her contact. She can sit in practice and hit 5, 6, 7 in a row, just no doubters.
As you can probably pick up on this, Coach Brad Gover thinks his bunch is going to be pretty good this year, and I'm going to share that with him. We are at Buffalo Wings and Rings on South Highway 27. This is Lake Cumberland Sports annual softball coaches preview show. I'll get it out right. Come on out and join us tonight at Buffalo Wings and Rings for the first annual softball baseball coaches show for the 3 local high schools. Tonight's special, 129 chicken tenders. The girls, you're going to feed them after this. Think about that.
Yeah.
Entrust Counseling is here giving away all sorts of fun door prizes and giveaway. Come join the fun at Buffalo Wings and Rings, stoplight 23 across from Somerset Mall. All right, Coach, this 12th region is a pretty good region, pretty deep in softball, and I threw a couple names out at you before we started. You added a couple to it, but Boyle County will be there, right?
Boyle County is the team right now.
And Rock will be around.
Rock will be right there. They've got great pitching coming back. Yeah, but, when you think 12th region right now, everybody thinks Boyle County. Well, we're trying to be the team that steps up and knocks them off. That's our goal every year. You know, our district is tough.
Yes.
With Somerset, Rock, it's a tough district because, you know, Rock's always good. Then you never know what's going to happen between Somerset and Pulaski. It's a rivalry game, and anything can happen, and that's why I tell my girls, if you don't come ready to play, you're liable to get beat.
Whatever the sport, when those two schools get together, you can just about throw the records out the window. Your team won 24 games last year.
We won 24, and we play a pretty tough schedule.
Yes, you do. You've got a pretty good schedule. I noticed you're slipping off to Myrtle Beach for spring break.
We do that. We went to Myrtle Beach last year. We liked it enough to where we thought, you know what, we'll go back because the competition was pretty good. Plus, you get to play on turf, and you don't have to worry about rain delays and rain out. So,
and that is a big thing anymore for the schools that do have, or the places that can host tournaments that have turf fields. You know you're going to get to play, and sometimes in our area this time of year, it's been blessed the last few days. You've been getting outdoors, I guess.
Oh, we try to go out every single day. We were out there today, and if it's not raining, we're out there.
Let's talk about your staff right now, who you've got working with you. And we were trying to kid one of them about we were going to put him on camera, but I think he's hiding in the back room somewhere. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about who you got helping you this year, Coach.
I've got Luke Elmore and Shane Ellis and David Countryman.
That's a heck of a crew.
Yeah. It's, you know, we seem to get – knowing what we're doing every day, it's like you don't even have to make a practice plan out because we all read in each other's minds. We know what we're supposed to do. We know what's supposed to get done. I got Luke and Shane that works with the outfield. Me and Coach Countryman work with the infield, and it's like, you know, we go to the field. The girls know where we're supposed to go. We take care of business, and you know, there's no time wasted.
Kind of helps. You've got a senior and 7 juniors. The one underclassman that you've got started for you last year, and most everybody in this lineup, you don't have anybody who's stepping into a starting role. They are just coming back to starting roles.
They're coming back, and I always called them last year, except for Eva, they were all kind of babies. You know, they were little. They got to start varsity for the first year, and that's their baby year. So, you know, I expect them to play like seniors this year, and because they've been around the game long enough, and I think it's going to be a special year.
Some of your babies have grown up. They were walking by me here a minute ago. You've got some young ladies that they're a very athletic-looking bunch too.
Oh yeah. We've got newcomers that are going to be on the field as far as running. We've got speed. We got power. So like I was telling you earlier, we've got 8 girls in our lineup right now that at any given moment can take the ball out of the park on you.
I noticed you've got Great Crossing on here, the new school up in the Lexington area, and that's a school that I would know nothing about, but I'm looking down through here. This schedule's loaded.
Yeah,
whoever made this.
And, well, I made it. And,
I figured you did.
And to be honest, I wanted to make it a little harder because I had some things out there with Louisville Male, Manual, some Louisville schools. I had them, and then they get into tournaments, and – you lose them, but I will play anybody in the state. I tell my girls all the time, I'd rather play someone that's going to teach us a lesson than somebody that we're going to beat by 20.
That's a coach that's comfortable in your skin. Some coaches say I've got to win wins.
No.
Some coaches say I challenge my team because sometimes even if we come up short, we're better off in a situation like that than we are if we're playing somebody we're going to run rule.
Oh, absolutely. That's why we've got Warren East second game of the season.
Saw that.
And they're ranked second in the state. So they got everybody back from a state finalist team last year. We've got Woodford County, Scott County, Great Crossing. I'm not for sure who else.
Oh, I've got it right
Shelby
here.
County.
If you can.
Madison Central, Simon Kenton, the list goes on. And then we're also playing in the Tri-State Showcase, playing Ironton, Ohio, which always took Scott County when they won the state tournament a couple years there. They were the team that beat Scott County those years.
Yes.
So
just across the river from Ashland up there, the Ironton bunch. Familiar with them.
Yeah. I always tell them, if we're going to get into a tournament, give me the best you got. Like I said, I'd rather get beaten and learn something than destroy somebody.
The competitor in you, I've known you since you were waddling around at 3 or 4 years old, but the competitor in you is still there. And these kids reflect that. I have seen that we are going to go compete attitude, and that's got to be something that you look forward to knowing your kids are going to go give you what they got.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't matter who we play. We're supposed to win, and I expect them to win every game. And if we don't, as long as we're giving our best effort and we don't do silly things, I'm good with it.
Putting a little bullseye on your team, Coach.
I'm
painting it, right?
I try to make them think, we got to win every game. That's what we're here for. We're not here to lose. We try to win every game.
Well, again, I look forward to it. We'll have a handful of games with you all this year. You have Somerset as a district opponent, so I know the home and homes there. You also will have the Southwestern games that you all play, and probably pick up a couple others along the way. But having a chance just to sit down and talk with you, if you had to pick a dark horse in this 12th region, we hit on Rock and Boyle. Garrett was around at the end last year. Did they lose anything that would take them down a notch?
They lost their main pitcher, Kelsey Perkins.
I thought that was true.
But they had an average backup. She wasn't a Kelsey Perkins, but she's no slouch. And they've got the state leading home run hitter coming back, and Katie Pizzuto. So and we learned our lesson with her last year in the region.
Yeah.
I'll take that full blame of that, but. They're going to be a tough team to beat, and that's probably who I would take as my dark horse, would be Garrett County.
Well, I thought they had always been. Again, Casey's in this district. I think the district's at Casey this year, you were telling me. Casey's a wild card. There were a few years there that they got all the kids that played basketball and stuff out to play softball, and they were a pretty good-looking softball team. And then, you see them sometimes and you go, where are their athletes,
Yeah.
And I never know what to expect.
Yeah, well, last year, I don't know if you remember the game we played them over there. We played them at our field, and I'm thinking we beat them pretty soundly.
Yes.
Then we go over there, and they're up on us in the fourth inning by 4 or 5 runs, and they've had 11 runs on the board.
Yeah.
And that's the game that we ended up hitting 10 total home runs in one game. Kaylee Strunk hit 3 back-to-back home runs. And, going over there, anything can happen. And they've got the girls that, are they as skilled? I don't think so, but they don't back down.
Right.
And they can hit the ball.
And you wonder, will Lauren Lee and some of those girls who are playing in the state, by the way, right now maybe playing in the state basketball championship up at Rupp, but will all of them come out since they are all seniors? I think the top 8 or 9 on that basketball team are all seniors, if I'm not mistaken.
I've heard different stories. I've heard about the Lauren Lee, maybe not.
Right.
I know she's going to play college basketball.
Right.
Wouldn't hurt my feelings if
not
she
at
didn't
all.
come out, but
No. Come
but
out
I do
and watch if she wants to. Right?
Yeah, I do like competing against her, but I just,
Yeah.
she's a danger at the plate, and she covers a lot of ground in the infield. But I still think that's kind of up in the air. I don't know for sure. I've heard different stories on that.
Pleasure talking with you. We still got a couple minutes before we're going to turn it over to the new head baseball coach out at Southwestern. Michael Gover is going to step in with us here in just a minute. But anybody else you want to thank, any of the parents that have put in the effort, or you just want to invite everybody out when you get ready to tee this thing up for real? Your first home game, I think you said, was Warren East on the 20th?
Yeah, we've got Mercer County at Mercer on the 19th.
Right, and your first game at home.
Our first home game against Warren East, and then the very next day we got Great Crossing.
So you've got Warren East, who, as you said, played in the state finals last year. So if you want to come out and get an early season taste of what it's going to look like, that ought to be a good one.
That should be a lot of runs put up.
All right, Coach. You go feed the troops and get them ready, and we're going to come see you very, very shortly. I'm going to try to lobby to see if there's any way in the world we could do that Warren East game. I'm not in charge of anything in this organization, but that would be a good one to pick up if we possibly could. But best of luck to you and the kids, the young ladies. Let's go there. Best of luck to you, the young ladies, and your coaching staff and fans. We look forward to an exciting spring of softball.
Okay, I appreciate it. It's going to be a good one.
He's Brad Gover. I'm Mike Kerr. We're at Buffalo Wings and Rings here on South Highway 27 for our annual look at baseball, softball coaches preview. And tonight's special, $1.29 chicken tenders here at BWR. Intrust Counseling is giving away neat stuff. And come join us here at Buffalo Wings and Rings, Stoplight 23 across from Somerset Mall. After this break, we're going to have Michael Gover step in, and I don't know him, but I'm going to try to get to know him over the next little bit.
It's time to auction. Who you going to call? Whether it's a farm, home, personal, or commercial property, Ford Brothers Auctioneers bring home the bacon for your next auction. On-site, online, simulcast. Whatever works best for you, that's what we do. Award-winning marketing to support your auction. And FordBrothersInc.com has the most unique visitors for auctions in the market. Give us a call for your next auction. At Ford Brothers, we're selling the country.
Honda offers complimentary lifetime powertrain protection with every qualifying new and pre-owned vehicle we sell. Engine covered, transmission covered, drive axles covered for life. You're covered as long as you own it. And that's on every qualifying new and pre-owned car, truck, van, and SUV, even diesel trucks. Shop with complete confidence and peace of mind with Alton Blakely's complimentary lifetime powertrain protection program. Alton Blakely Honda, South Highway 27 Somerset, and abhonda.com.
Don't feel great? Just can't wait? Quick Care's open late. Just walk in for accidents and illnesses or for health services like physicals and flu shots. Quick Care Walk-In Clinic at Med Park West for over a decade on Hale Knob Road, just behind the hospital.
To us, Kentucky is a great place to live, work, and play. At Toyota of Somerset, your dreams are important, and we love making them come true. If it's a new Toyota car, truck, SUV, or van, certified pre-owned or used vehicle, we've got you covered. Always a great selection, and we'll welcome your credit application and trade-in. And always a great deal. We're open until the last customer is served. So come on in.
We're all about. So it's time to auction. Who you going to call? Whether it's a farm, home, personal, or commercial property, Ford Brothers Auctioneers bring home the bacon for your next auction. On-site, online, simulcast. Whatever works best for you, that's what we do. Award-winning marketing to support your auction. And FordBrothersInc.com has the most unique visitors for auctions in the market. Give us a call for your next auction. At Ford Brothers, we're selling the country.
Don't feel great? Just can't wait? Quick Care's open late. Just walk in for accidents and illnesses or for health services like physicals and flu shots. Quick Care Walk-In Clinic at Med Park West for over a decade on Hale Knob Road, just behind the hospital.
And back live here at Buffalo Wings and Rings on South Highway 27 for Lake Cumberland Sports annual baseball softball coaches preview show. We've just got through talking to the PC softball head man Brad Gover, Michael Gover, the new first-year coach. Not a new coach out there, just the new first-year head coach out at Southwestern. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm good. Are y'all kin by any way? Somebody asked me today if the Govers were kin to each other. I told them
I think we're all cousins somewhere down the line.
Well, you know, we ran into this. We're from Pulaski County. Most of us are kin somewhere.
That's
but anyway.
right.
All right, Michael. We're going to jump into this. First year, I guess we'll say in the big seat, but no, not new to Southwestern or any of us. And you've been a player and a supporter of baseball around this area for a long, long time for a very young man. And Alex Eaton stepped aside because of taking the AD role out at Southwestern, and you've stepped in. And I was so glad when I heard that announcement because I know you and I know how you will coach and how and you'll. The only thing I looked at is your roster, and we'll start down that. But man, are you young?
That's right. We are young. We returned one senior, so hey, we've got a lot of room to grow, which is never a good thing, but it's also not a bad thing either. So
you sent 4 or 5 kids on to play at the next level off that team last year. A very good baseball team that we had a lot of fun covering. But this year. You'll have to give me a roster, and we'll have to learn a whole new bunch of kids, and I look forward to it.
That's right. I think we come back with about 3 or 4 guys that had any varsity experience last year. So they've got big shoes to fill. A lot of experience that left last year, but hopefully those guys did a good enough job setting the tone, teaching these younger guys what's expected of them, how we expect our program to run, and like you said, I've been involved in it for now 10, 11 years. 1 year under Coach Mack, several years with Coach Eaton. and success has always been there. And we're not going to do anything crazy or new or try to reinvent the wheel because we've won a bunch of ball games, and we plan to keep on doing that if we can.
You mentioned you all have won a lot of ball games. I just throw a little something at you. I know you know this, but you've been the district champs every year since 2013.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
I'm just telling you. So if you don't think there's some district teams around here that are going to try to get even with you, they probably are going to love some of that. But everybody starts somewhere. The good news for the kids and the parents and the boosters, they got you. That's the continuity to this team. They do not have a coach coming in from pick somewhere into this team. They all know you. They know what they're getting. And it'll be, I know as a first-year coach, me and you want to win them all, don't we?
We always do.
And we're going to play to win them all.
That's why we keep score.
That's why they keep score. But the key to the matter is you've got to take a young team and grow with the team.
We do. And, we've experienced that already. A lot of practicing that we've stopped and kind of look around and stare at one another and think, all right, we've got to step back a couple steps before we move forward those 3 or 4 that we need to. But that's okay.
Sometimes fundamentals, you have to spend a little more time on them than you might want to.
You do.
But if you don't do that early, you'll probably pay for it later.
Right. It's like we've told the team so far this year. We've kind of broke it down into 3 sets. We've got this early part before spring break. We're going to try to get better up until spring break. Right after spring break, we fire right into our district, regular season. So that's part 2. And then part 3, we'll be playing, postseason. So
let me quit talking. You start talking. Let's talk about the kids.
Okay. Well, like I said, we've got our one senior coming back, Tanner McKee. He's been there almost as long as I have. We brought him up as an 8th grader and threw him to the wolves right away. I still remember the conversation with Coach Eaton whenever we had him was, hey, we think he's going to be our shortstop of the future. So, hey, let's put him out there today. And he's played every game, I think, since his 8th grade year, at our shortstop position. We are going to tinker with him a little this year. He's already signed to play at the next level at Asbury.
Right.
So he's got that out of the way, which is always a good thing for a senior that wants to go on and play college ball to get that done over. That way they don't press. They can just go play. So talking with Coach up there at Asbury, kind of plans on him maybe playing a little third base. So you're going to see him there a little bit. You're going to see him playing short, and then, of course, he's going to be one of our top arms. Right. So we're going to run him out there. Just got done with basketball, so he's a little behind on that side, but he'll get there. Right. Hard-working kid. He'll put in the effort. A lot of late nights after we get done taking some extra reps, and we'll get his arm in shape to where, hopefully a couple weeks in he'll be out there throwing.
Take a look at behind the plate. That's always somewhere that you got to have somebody back there you can depend on, and I think you lost a guy I know had been back there maybe for 4 years.
He was back there he caught some his freshman year, but basically his sophomore year on. And we feel that position pretty well. I mean, Riley McBride will slide right into that spot. He's a junior. Now, he's a heck of an outfielder, too. So last year he patrolled center field for us, but we do need him behind the plate this year. Got a really live arm. I mean, he's got one of the livest arms for a kid his size I've seen. So that's a plus. And then, Coach Starnes, of course, everybody remembers Logan Starnes. He's there with us all the time, and he's working with our catchers. And, I mean, the stuff that he already knew and then what he picked up from playing 4 years at Eastern, I mean, you can't put a price tag on it, So
can we do a Logan Starnes moment? One of my most memorable moments, I think, ever was when he hit the home run over at Rockcastle County in the 1-0 game that he had pitched in a pitching duel that – literally, it looked like nobody was ever going to score a run, and he stepped up and yanked one out.
That's right.
Probably, I've done this played it for a little while, not well, and tried to broadcast it not well for a long time. But probably one of the most memorable moments that I've ever been involved in.
Yep. Logan was a competitor. I mean, he wanted to go out, and you could give him the ball, on the mound, behind the plate, whatever, and you knew he was going to give it 100%, and nobody was better than he was. And whether they were or not, in his mind, he was going to go out and he was going to beat you however he could. So.
Not sure we needed to go there, but I'm glad we did.
Yeah.
Let's spin the infield. Let's go around the infield.
Okay. We'll probably have Tyler Pumphrey, another junior. He'll play a lot of first base for us. So will Ian Maybrier. He's going to be a sophomore that'll play both corner positions. Again, depending on who's pitching for us. Mm-hmm. Second base, we're toying with it right now. We kind of had a guy in mind that, tore his shoulder up, so he's going to be out this year. And Ben Howard had to have surgery back in January, so he's on the shelf for the whole season. So, we've got Austin Baker there right now, who's a junior. Again, young, not a lot of experience, didn't play any varsity at all last year, so he's got a learning curve. And then we've got an 8th grader that we pulled up in Wyatt Morgan, who is playing that spot for us a little bit too. Wyatt's also our only other option at catcher, so we're a little thin back there. And he's been surprised at the difference in the level from catching middle school games to attempting to catch some high school kids. At shortstop, we're looking at Tucker Howard to probably play there most of the time, and Tanner McKee. Tucker's another kid that, he does have the experience. He's played a lot of varsity games for us. He'll probably hit in our leadoff spot unless something changes. So he's got to be that leader. Those middle guys, your catcher, your shortstop, your center fielder, they're kind of your leaders out there on the field. So we rely a lot on them in game situations. So we put a lot on their shoulders. At third, like I mentioned, probably Tanner McKee to start with, again, depending on who's on the mound. And then, like I mentioned before, Ian Maybrower will probably play that spot for us quite a bit too.
Go ahead and catch you a drink of water if you wish, and we'll let you catch up. I know I'm trying to wear you out here. This is Quick Care Walk-In Clinic at Med Park West. Baseball and softball coaches show presented by the Don Franklin of Somerset family of dealerships here tonight at Buffalo Wings and Rings. They are sponsoring this thing for us, and come on out. This is the second of 6. We've got 4 more interviews that we're going to do along the way. And tonight, $1.29 chicken tenders here at Buffalo Wings and Rings. And Entrust Counseling's at the front door, and they're giving away all kinds of fun door prizes. I heard $50 gift cards. I heard all kinds of stuff. I'm not eligible to win, so I can't go look. Come join the fun at Buffalo Wings and Rings, stoplight 23 across from Somerset Mall. This is Michael Gover. I can't say new. He's the head coach at Southwestern High School for the first year, but he's been out there long enough that he's not new to any of us. But, Coach, we'll touch on your outfield, and then I'd love to get into your staff, who's going to help you in the things that are going on this year.
Well, now the outfield is where we're pretty much starting from scratch.
Okay.
We lost every one of those guys. Like I said, our center fielder last year is now going to be behind the plate for us. So anybody that wants to play and wants a shot to play, that's where they've been battling it out. So we've got a lot of new faces out there. And to be honest with you, it may change between now and next Monday 5 times. So there's a lot of kids, like I said, that are out there. I mean, I could go through, right now, Colton Durham, sophomore, looking at him in center field. Logan Hicks, another sophomore, looking at him in center field. We go to the corners. Micah Mullins is a junior that has normally played infield, but he's a big, strong kid that, if he gets into one, he's liable to hit it from here to McDonald's, So he's going to have to find a spot somewhere. So
right. We've
experimented with him a little bit in the outfield. And then there's a bunch of freshmen. I mean, I look down here and I see Braden Morrow, Caleb Ramsey, Ben Shaw, those guys who are young that basically played JV last year. And, now they're fighting it out there every day.
We remember when the Joneses and the Russells and some of those guys who moved on after last year were young.
Exactly right.
And it's a process, and it takes place, and they'll grow.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about coming into the year. Everybody was kind of like, Coach, you've lost so many kids, and you've done this, and what are you going to do? And I go back to when, as you mentioned, when the Joneses and the Russells and the Heltons and the Maddens were all sophomores.
Right.
And we had lost the Vincent Bullses and the Trevor Howards and
right.
the Luke, and we were kind of in that same spot. But to those guys' credit, they were sophomores at the time. They were baseball guys. They loved the game. That's all they did. And they went to work. So I've used them quite often in our off season, especially when we were in the weight room this fall. Guys, you're weak today, but, look where that bunch was last year. They didn't get there by just magically showing up and hey, I grew 6 inches and gained 40 pounds. They put the work in. They played a lot of baseball. They played a lot of summer ball. And, they won a bunch of baseball games.
You and I both sort of like baseball.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy whose shoes you've stepped into sort of is a baseball guy. And I am sure it is killing him not to be able to be out there with you. And I know you've got plenty of support at that level. But let's go ahead. I know you mentioned Logan Starnes a few minutes ago. Who else is helping you herd the troops right now?
I've got Pat Pumphrey, who's been with us now for 2 years. He's helping out. Casey Dalton, everybody loves Casey. He's my man inside the school building where I'm not there. He's my go-to to kind of keep the kids corralled and let me know what's happening. And then I've got Chris Burton, who helped us 3 or 4 years ago, right after his son Wyatt graduated. He's back with us, and I keep him around because he's the most honest, opinionated guy that I know. So
you got to have one of those.
So I know if I've got a question, he's going to give me his opinion whether I like it or not. So that's a good guy to have around. And then David Van Hook, played at Somerset, but he's kind of a South End type guy that's been around and worked with our weightlifting. His work schedule keeps him hopping, so he was very gracious to say, hey, I know I can be there around 8 o'clock and I can work with your guys in the weight room and go from there. So great staff, and again, a lot of the same guys that have been around for several years. So
throw a curve at you because I don't know the answer, and they say no, you never ask when you don't know the answer. The district this year will be one of those. It's hosted by whoever has the best record. Is that how y'all do it? Or do you actually have a site?
Actually, we will host it.
You have the district.
Right.
Okay.
They switched that up a couple years ago. It was always whoever won the district, hosted. But a couple years ago we switched it up and have started, rotating around. So it is our turn this year to host it. So.
And you don't want to remind you one more time that you have won that district every year since.
That's right. Since like 2011.
2012, I think, was the last time you lost to it.
Right. We've always had a target on our back, and probably you're going to ask some people, and they're going to say that we don't, but we have the same talk every year. We want to go win the 48th district, and then we plan on trying to win the 12th region.
And I have enjoyed the attitude of this team over the years because that's exactly how they walk on the field.
That's right.
The other thing is the region this year. I should have known this, but it's not listed on the KHSA webpage. Do you know where the region is this year?
I think it'll be on the north end, I think, somewhere, maybe the 45th. Danville in that area may host it, but not sure on that side.
All right, we've got plenty of time to worry about that as we go along. You'll open up. Did I see where you had moved your home opener, or are you still opening?
We moved to scrimmage. We were supposed to scrimmage South Laurel tomorrow, actually, but their girls – in the state tournament, so he asked if we could slide it over to Friday, which I think weather-wise is going to work out better for us. So we're going to do that. But no, we open up with Clinton.
With Clinton still at home on the 16th.
On the 16th, yep. So we're there.
And then you'll the first time that we may get to see you, hopefully before then, but I know you got Pulaski early in April, and you and Somerset, and I won't say any more, and you don't even have to comment, don't play each other right now, and that's a shame. And I'm going to leave that alone.
We'll leave that there.
That's as a fan.
Right.
That's not as any. I'm not getting into the other part. But anyway, look forward to it. Anybody you want to shout out that's helping off the scenes, behind the scenes to help the Warriors? You better say to the house, because I know this was a big decision
I gotta
with youngins. And
it was a big decision. That was the first, that whenever it was brought to me and, hey, do you want to do this? Of course, went home, talked to my wife, Jessica, and her answer was, well, I don't know what to tell you other than that's all we've ever known. So we started dating when I was in college and played baseball.
Yep.
I started coaching right after college, so that's all she's ever known, and she's great. She's kind of a single mom this time of year, but she's taking care of. And, of course, I got 2 little girls at home, so hi, Addie, hi, Harper. Hope you guys are watching, listening, whatever. And they enjoy it. I mean, they love coming to the games and checking it out. But to all our parents, I mean, they work their tails off. They fundraise and they sell concessions and candy bars and beef sticks and whatever we ask them to do, they're out there. And all the coaches. I mean, it's more than just showing up and coaching. We've got an immaculate facility over there, but it doesn't stay that way by magic, of course. And I told Coach Eaton that was one thing that I didn't want to screw up was that and the work that he'd put in, that Coach Mack had put in. So, but he said it's just grass, I can't kill it. And I said, well, you've not seen my front yard. So it is a lot of work, but they do a great job, and I appreciate everybody that's involved in that.
Best of luck, Michael Gover, the head man at Southwestern Warriors Baseball. I look forward to spending some time with you this year.
Appreciate it, Mike. Thank you all for all you do, okay?
I'm Mike. We are at Buffalo Wings and Rings, and we're going to take a quick time out, and we'll be back with Brittany Dorsey Murphy, the assistant softball coach at Somerset High School. Brittany, you're still Brittany Dorsey, but we'll be back after this break.
So it's time to auction. Who you gonna call? Whether it's a farm, home, personal, or commercial property, Ford Brothers Auctioneers bring home the bacon for your next auction. On-site, online, simulcast, whatever works best for you, That's what we do. Award-winning marketing to support your auction. And FordBrothersInc.com has the most unique visitors for auctions in the market. Give us a call for your next auction. At Ford Brothers, we're selling the country.
Honda offers complimentary lifetime powertrain protection with every qualifying new and pre-owned vehicle we sell. Engine covered, transmission covered, drive axles covered for life. You're covered as long as you own it. And that's on every qualifying new and pre-owned car, truck, van, and SUV, even diesel trucks. Shop with complete confidence and peace of mind with Alton Blakely's complimentary lifetime powertrain protection program. Alton Blakely Honda, South Highway 27 Somerset, and abhonda.com.
Don't feel great? Just can't wait? Quick Care's open late. Just walk in for accidents and illnesses or for health services like physicals and flu shots. Quick Care Walk-In Clinic at Med Park West for over a decade on Hale Knob Road, just behind the hospital.
A car, truck, SUV, or van, certified pre-owned or used vehicle, we've got you covered. Always a great selection, and we'll welcome your credit application and trade-in. And always a great deal. We're open until the last customer is served. So come on in.
We're all about. So it's time to auction. Who you gonna call? Whether it's a farm, home, personal, or commercial property, Ford Brothers Auctioneers bring home the bacon for your next auction. On-site, online, simulcast. Whatever works best for you, that's what we do. Award-winning marketing to support your auction. And FordBrothersInc.com has the most unique visitors for auctions in the market. Give us a call for your next auction. At Ford Brothers, we're selling the country.
Don't feel great? Just can't wait? Quick Care's open late. Just walk in for accidents and illnesses or for health services like physicals and flu shots. Quick Care Walk-In Clinic at Med Park West for over a decade on Hale Knob Road, just behind the hospital.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome back. Bob Boone. I've taken over for Mike Kerr, and we are live at Buffalo Wings and Rings on South Highway 27, just across from the Somerset Mall. This is Quick Care Walk-In Clinic's annual Coaches Preview Show. Baseball and softball season is here. It seems like just the other night we ended up, finished up basketball season, and 2 days later, I got 1 day off, but joined now here by assistant head coach is what I'm going to call you, because when I talk to your dad, David Dorsey, the head coach of the Somerset Briar Jumper softball team, he always tells me, he says, go talk to Brittany. She knows what's going on.
That works.
Brittany Dorsey Murphy, and, of course, you've been a part of this program for a long time.
Yes, sir.
And I'm sure that you and your dad and your coaches and everybody involved getting excited about the upcoming season.
Oh, absolutely. We've got a lot of work that we've put in, and we're ready to let everybody see how hard we've worked this off season. And we've got a good group of girls. We've got everybody back this year. So we're looking forward to a good year.
Last year, not the best of seasons. There's a lot of tradition there, but you guys have had a young squad the last couple of years. Last year was no different. You ended up on the season 8-25, and I am going to believe that expectations are much higher this year.
Oh, absolutely. Which, we're not making excuses, but we were extremely young last year. We only had 2 seniors. So, this year we've only got 1 senior, so we've got a lot of work that we've put in. We had a lot of building that we did from last year. We've got all our returners back, so it's kind of given us a little bit of drive this off season to kind of have something to focus on, and each individual player knew what they needed to do to get better to improve on that record. Nobody was proud of that last year.
Indeed. You mentioned you lost 2 seniors off of last year's squads. Neither of them were starters, but they were contributors to the squad.
Absolutely.
Sydney Baker and Emily Barnes, is that correct?
Sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I mean, it's never easy to lose, especially when you've got a small school. And this year we've actually got 18 players, so that's a lot for a school like Somerset. When you've only got 500 kids to choose from, having 18 girls come out is awesome. So, it's never easy to lose 2 seniors, but these girls have picked up and helped out, and we're looking forward to a great year.
Somerset softball, you guys are a family, literally, and, figuratively and literally. I mean, your whole family's been involved in this for some time.
Yes, sir.
But let's talk about your family a little
Okay.
bit. The girls that are on your squad that make up this 2020 team.
Yeah, we have got our senior center fielder, Maya Barron. We're looking for big things for her this year. She's been a starter for us the last few years, so she knows what it takes in order to lead us to victory. So we hope that we can fall under her this year and be able to make her happy her last year. We've got Emma Hawk, who is a junior. We've got Allison Coffey, that's a junior. We've got Trinity Lynn, that is a junior. And we have got Vanessa Carl, that is a junior, and Dream Stevens. Most of those are starters for us as well. So, we've got, even though we're young, we've still got some upperclassmen that, have been playing for the last few years that we look to kind of be our leaders and to help us make our successes better this year. And
the advantage there is you do have some of those, as you said, upperclassmen, and they're not happy or content with last year either.
Yeah.
And,
the one thing that Coach Dorsey will always emphasize is the negatives that we had last year, just to kind of fuel the girls a little bit, and that's the one thing that they always say, it has to be better than last year. They weren't satisfied last year, and they're for sure not satisfied this year, and they've put in the work, and we're looking for good things. If they put their mind to it and they, let their talent shine. We were an underdog last year, so we're looking to come out strong and hopefully be on top.
do you think you might be able to sneak under the radar a little bit this year?
I think
do you like that role?
I do. I think that if, we always tell the girls, if you go in already thinking that you're beat, then of course the game's over before it even starts, so, I think that some of the teams on our schedule this year are probably already overlooking us, and that's fine, and if these girls that we've got go out and work hard, then, I think we can compete with anybody on our schedule.
You talked about your upperclassmen. Tell us about the rest of your squad.
We've got several sophomores that we've got starting. Like I said, last year we were immature on the field just because we were so young. We had a lot of new players in new positions from the previous years that we had lost players. We're starting a sophomore left fielder. We're starting a freshman pitcher, a sophomore catcher. Our shortstop is a sophomore. Our second baseman is an eighth grader. So we've still got a lot of room for improvement. A lot of room for growth in the next coming years. But we're already starting out more ahead this year than we were last year at this time.
Getting prepared for the upcoming season. Of course, officially you get to start, I believe it was February 15th.
Yes, sir.
But there's a lot of off-season work that goes
absolutely.
into preparing
Absolutely.
for a high school, any high school athletic season. And you mentioned the small school that Somerset is. You have to share a lot of athletes.
We do, and that's one benefit that we've had actually the last few years is our team has been solely softball. In the years past, like when I first started coaching, we had girls that wouldn't join us from basketball until the end of February, and that makes it hard when they're your starters, and they've only got a week or two of practice or a day or two of practice, to even have that transition. So, that is one benefit that we have had the last 2 years, from the time we've started off-season stuff till the time season starts, we've been able to have all the girls there, so that's been a plus for us.
The key to any of these games that they play on a diamond, whether it's softball or baseball, is pitching. Talk to us a little bit about your pitching staff this year.
We've got 3 pitchers this year, which we've got returner Carly Kane. She is a freshman for us. We've got Jill Langford, that is a pitcher. She's a sophomore. And then we've got an 8th grader that has joined us this year, Reagan Peters, that we're looking for her to improve. But our pitching staff is definitely growing. There for a few seasons, we only had one sole pitcher, and that makes it difficult for anybody. It's hard to compete, 40-game seasons with only one pitcher, So we're looking to be able to use different girls this year in different situations, and I think that'll benefit us all around.
No matter how good they are, every once in a while you're going to have a bad night. And
Exactly.
Carly did a good job for you last year.
Exactly.
She's still young, as you said, just a freshman. And now you've got another 8th grader coming, and you got some other folks to help out. That's fantastic.
Yes, sir.
Come on out and join us tonight at Buffalo Wings and Rings for our first annual softball baseball coaches show for all 3 local high schools. Tonight's specials include $1.29 chicken tenders. Interest counseling services here with all sorts of fun door prizes and giveaways. Checking out Buffalo Wings and Rings, Stoplight 23, just across from the Somerset Mall. Lots of stuff out there. Looks like a lot of folks out there wearing Somerset purple and gold.
That's right.
And it has been a fantastic athletic season. If you start from the beginning of the school year, of course, we know or aware, unless you were under a rock, you know the
Right.
football team had a pretty good year.
Absolutely.
Basketball team just wrapped up a pretty good year. Probably not the way they wanted to end it.
Yeah.
But is that something that you guys hope to build on as a coaching staff that you can talk to your girls about?
Oh, absolutely. Like you talked about, the Somerset's all about tradition, and we want to make the ones before us proud. And we want this season to be, this school year for this entire group to be, the best that it can possibly be. And I know these girls were there to support the football team, and I know they've been there to support basketball season. So we look for that same support to come and hopefully cheer us on for our same successes.
One thing when I look at your schedule this upcoming season, and you guys play a lot of games day after day after day. It's almost it's like a major league baseball
It
style
is.
schedule.
Well, and that's the one thing that's different about Coach Dorsey, I think, than some of the other coaches. He's been there for 20-plus seasons now, and, he's old school. He doesn't believe in days off. He believes that you should have a ball in your hand every single day, and if you're working hard to get better every day, then you shouldn't have anything to complain about. So, he's one of those guys that, if the weather's good and the sun's right, then on the field's where you need to be.
Generally, you take trips over spring break and such, and you go play in tournaments, at remote locations. Don't see any of those on this year's schedule.
We'll be staying closer to home this year. We traveled a little bit last year, so we try to alternate it every other season, just for the compliance of the parents and stuff, so they can watch us.
Absolutely, and of course you want to encourage all the parents and students and everybody else.
Absolutely.
There is nothing more enjoyable. Of course, I love calling softball, baseball games, and coming out there to the hole, as
That's
it's
right.
affectionately known. And it's ironic that that's where your dad played his high school
It
baseball. But it's fun. You bring the lawn chairs. And,
absolutely. It's like a backyard adventure. You
is.
can bring your chairs and you can sit in the outfield and
dogs. We see dogs
exactly.
at the park all the time.
Yeah, and it's just a nice, friendly family atmosphere.
Indeed, it is a lot of fun, and so we do want to encourage everybody to get out there. You guys start off next week with Whitley County, and you're away for the first game, but then you got a couple of home games, McCreary and Wayne County, a couple of 48th district teams that maybe you'll get a chance to see later on in regional play. But do you like to play teams within your region so you get a look at them?
We try to. We sometimes, we try to broaden our schedule a little bit to where we don't face teams that we'll see in the region, just so that way we kind of don't know what to expect. So we like to go in kind of blindsided a little bit, so that way, we're ready regardless. So I know he's changed it up a little bit this season. We're playing a couple teams this year that we've not played in the seasons past. Just looking for a new face, a new competition. But like I said earlier, we didn't fare very well last year, but we're looking to come out on top. So hopefully, our schedule will pay off and we'll get some good benefits. That way we can be ready prepared for district.
Is there anybody on that schedule that you're looking forward to? Are there any that you just circled and said, that's a game I cannot wait to play?
All of them.
Okay. That's fantastic.
All of them. I mean, the girls always give me a hard time because during the season they'll ask me, like, oh, do you remember what happened at this game last year? And I'm like, no, I've got a short-term memory when it comes to, just because, I live in the moment when it comes to the games. And that's what, we're trying to instill in these kids, focus on the now and don't worry about what's in the past or don't worry about what's in the future. So each game is a new adventure. Each game is a new challenge, and we need to take it every day.
You mentioned short-term memory. I love that. And as a broadcaster, and I've been doing this for a couple years now, I love to make the comment that, players will make mistakes on the field. Coaches, and you don't necessarily mind the mistakes too bad if they were hustle plays,
exactly.
Things like that. Fundamental, if you're fundamentally sound, sometimes no matter what, softballs bounce funny.
Exactly.
Things happen.
Right.
But short-term memory, or I will often say, she's got to get a case of amnesia because her team needs her to get right back in, especially as, a pitcher or maybe your catcher who threw one away.
Right.
And now with a little bit of maturity, is that something, I know you mentioned as far as towards the season, but is that something you like to try and instill in these girls even during the game?
Well, and that's what I try to tell them too. A lot of my coaching style comes from experience. It's, it's not anything anybody's ever taught me. It's from playing myself, and I think that's one reason why I try to be as understanding with the girls as I can. I've been there. I've put on cleats. I've stepped between the lines. I've had struggles. So I try to instill in them, just like you said, the next play, the next pitch, the next game, the next day. You know, I mean, you can't live in the past and dwell on it. You got to learn from it and move on.
We talking with other athletes at times, and one of the things about, you know, baseball and softball is failure is an accepted, you know, part of it, when really somebody who only succeeds 1 out of every 3 times is considered, you know, one of the best at their craft.
Exactly.
So you do have to, you know, okay, you struck out because you just didn't think that pitch was coming or whatever, but you got to go back up there and do it again, and you never know. And that's one of the things I love about the game.
Oh, absolutely.
And the other exciting thing about baseball and softball is there's no time clock.
Even though it feels like sometimes it can last an eternity, doesn't it?
Oh, very good. Coach, tell us a little bit about the coaching staff. You know, I refer to you as the assistant head coach. I don't know if that's your official title. Yeah, tell your dad I dubbed you assistant head coach. Of course, your dad has been battling some illness, going to be okay, though, and we expect to see him on the field here before too long.
He's ready to go. You know, like I said, he's been there for, I think this will be his 23rd season.
Wow.
Just for softball. Before that, he coached baseball at Somerset, but just for softball. You know, so he's been around the block, and then this will be my 11th season coaching. I came right straight from college when I finished my college season. Then I came that next semester and started helping him. I was only going to do it for 1 year.
Okay, how's that working out?
Yeah, well, 10 years later, here I still am.
Has it been that long?
It has. It's just, you can't take it away from me. I don't know. You know, and then we've got Jordan LaFavors that's helping us this year. She was our starting pitcher. She graduated in 2016, so she's even bringing a fresher view, you know, even more new than me, back to the girls. And she's doing a lot with our pitchers this year. You know, she's been working with them this off season, so we're looking for good things. You know, the girls love her, so we're one big happy family over there.
When you came back, of course, you were a few years removed. Jordan's a couple of years removed. How difficult is that as a young coach who really can relate to those girls as more of a teammate and I'm a player, and then you have to switch hats and put on your coach's hat?
It is difficult, you know, and I always stress to the girls before the off season starts, you know, I am a big sister, but I'm also your coach. You know, I'll be there for you if you need me, but, you know, expect me to kind of tell you what to do, you know. So, you know, it is hard because you're so close to them in age, and they look at you more of a sister than they do a coach, you know. So it does take some time, you know, and Jordan's experiencing that too. But, you know, that's another good thing about Somerset. We're all so close, and we've been around each other for so long. You know, it's just water off our back. You know, we're all one big happy family.
So does that mean we can call you the Ducks this year?
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, we got just a minute or so. Anybody else you want to mention, thank, you know, that you would just like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, we definitely could not do it without our parents. You know, like the other coaches have said, you know, we're completely self-funded at Somerset, so all of our uniforms and fundraising, is all done through our parents and our kids. So, you know, we appreciate all the community support, all our family support, you know, the support from the school and school staff. You know, we couldn't do it without them for sure.
Very good. Coach Brittany Dorsey Murphy of the Somerset Briar Jumper softball team. We're going to wrap things up here. I appreciate you taking time. I know this is not your favorite part of the coaching job, but you did a fantastic job, and I know looking forward to getting out there, going down to the hole and watching some softballs fly over the fence for this Lady Jumper Briar team.
We are ready.
Going to be a good time. Thank you, Coach.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
And we're going to take a pause here in just a second, and then we will have Somerset High School baseball coach Phil Grundy is not in the house. He actually has another paying job that he had to take care of business, and everybody's got bills to pay, so Coach Grundy couldn't be here tonight, but we're going to talk with Assistant Coach James Sainton here in just a minute. But we are at Buffalo Wings and Rings, $1.29 chicken wings, and you need to come on out for our annual softball and baseball coaches show. We're just halfway through, folks, so come on by. There's still plenty of food on hand. They got plenty of chicken wings and plenty of prizes thanks to Intrust Counseling Services. Just make sure you sign up at the door on your way in. Coach, once again, thank you. Best of luck to you. We'll talk to you real soon.
That sounds good. Thank you.
Oh, it's time to auction. Who you gonna call? Whether it's a farm, home, personal, or commercial property, Ford Brothers Auctioneers bring home the bacon for your next auction. On-site, online, simulcast, whatever works best for you, That's what we do. Award-winning marketing to support your auction. And FordBrothersInc.com has the most unique visitors for auctions in the market. Give us a call for your next auction. At Ford Brothers, we're selling the country.
Honda offers complimentary lifetime powertrain protection with every qualifying new and pre-owned vehicle we sell. Engine covered, transmission covered, drive axles covered for life. You're covered as long as you own it. And that's on every qualifying new and pre-owned car, truck, van, and SUV, even diesel trucks. Shop with complete confidence and peace of mind with Alton Blakely's complimentary lifetime powertrain protection program. Alton Blakely Honda, South Highway 27 Somerset, and abhonda.com.
Don't feel great? Just can't wait? Quick Care's open late. Just walk in for accidents and illnesses or for health services like physicals and flu shots. Quick Care Walk-In Clinic at Med Park West for over a decade on Hale Knob Road, just behind the hospital.
To us, Kentucky is a great place to live, work, and play. At Toyota of Somerset, your dreams are important, and we love making them come true. If it's a new Toyota car, truck, SUV, or van, certified pre-owned or used vehicle, we've got you covered. Always a great selection, and we'll welcome your credit application and trade-in. And always a great deal. We're open until the last customer is served. So come on in.
We're all about.
So it's time to auction. Who you gonna call? Whether it's a farm, home, personal, or commercial property, Ford Brothers Auctioneers bring home the bacon for your next auction. On-site, online, simulcast. Whatever works best for you, that's what we do. Award-winning marketing to support your auction. And FordBrothersInc.com has the most unique visitors for auctions in the market. Give us a call for your next auction. At Ford Brothers, we're selling the country.
Don't feel great? Just can't wait? Quick Care's open late. Just walk in for accidents and illnesses or for health services like physicals and flu shots. Quick Care Walk-In Clinic at Med Park West for over a decade on Hale Knob Road, just behind the hospital.
Welcome back to the patio at Buffalo Wings and Rings, and now it's time to talk a little bit of Somerset baseball. And for those of you that may not recognize this man, I'm sure some of you do, Coach James Seenan, assistant coach on the team. Coach Grundy had a previous engagement. He had some bills to pay and up there taking care of business. So you're filling in for him tonight, and I'm sure you'll do a fine job. We're going to talk Somerset baseball.
Sounds good.
Appreciate you being here and taking time out. I know it's hectic this time of year when you're getting ready for an upcoming season. But, Coach, last year, 22-13 overall, and this baseball team made a pretty good run.
Yes, we came through it postseason, got through the region champs. We lost 3 seniors off that team, but our pitching staff, which is the strength of our program last year, and it should be this year too, I think we only lost 2 or 3 innings of varsity pitching from the seniors last year.
Of course, in that you're talking about Alex Ham, who was able to come in and give you some spot relief every now and then and filled in when you needed. The other 2 players you lost, Chance Staten, Gavin Stevens, and, of course, Alex Ham, you lost some great leadership and some real baseball ability.
We sure did. Those guys led us very well last year. Great kids. They're going to be hard to replace, but I'm sure we'll be able to do that.
And while we're on them 1 minute, I got to say I saw a great picture. I believe it was this past weekend of Chance was catching for Lindsey Wilson College while Gavin was batting for University of Pikeville. So old teammates got to come together, play a little collegiate baseball as well.
Yes, yes.
Indeed. Coach, talk to us a little bit about your squad this year. You know, last year you were a little young, but you had a lot of experience, and I know you got to be looking forward to that experience coming back this season.
We sure do. We only have 1 senior on the squad this year, Andrew Childers. He played about half the games last year, actually had a hit in our semi-state game against Tage Creek last year. Did real well. And then we have a host of juniors coming back. We'll kind of go around the infield. First base, we'll probably have Drew Johnson this year. Drew pitched for us some last year, didn't really hit. He actually is carrying in a batting average of 1,000. He had 1 hit last year and 1 at bat.
Not bad.
So he's going to have to work hard to keep that
going.
Average
up there. Sure.
That's exactly right. Other people that play first base for us, Brandon Jones, he'll play first base some for us. Jack Bruner will be at first base, probably for JV team. Second base, we've got Sota Hayashihara.
Easy for you to say. I'm going to have to practice that one before we get over there.
I've been working on that all day today. He's a junior also. He'll play second base along with Cam Ryan. Cam will play second and third and will pitch for us some. Sota will also pitch a little for us also. At shortstop, we've got Cole Reynolds, who's actually a sophomore. He has been offered a spot from Eastern Kentucky University and has accepted that. So he's going to be playing D1 baseball, but he started every game for us last year at shortstop. And he's gotten a lot stronger this year, going from a freshman to a sophomore, so he should do real well. Great kid, works hard all the time in the field house hitting. Third base, we'll have Cam Ryan, as I said, also Dylan Burton coming off of basketball. We've got several guys that just finished up the season on Monday, so they're kind of trying to recuperate and be ready to come back. I think they have to come back by Saturday, but they probably won't play in our scrimmage on Friday. Let's see, outfield, center field, we've got Cade Grundy. He's committed to Louisville, another D1.
For a couple years.
Yeah, he's been committed since 8th grade, so he's doing real well, probably our best player. Throws 93, 94 as a pitcher.
That's humping it up there.
And I think he hit 480 last year.
456. I've got it circled right here.
Right.
So
and
pretty good year.
Several home runs. So he's strong. He's a great leader, too. You'd never know from talking to him that he's the best player. You know, he's a good teammate, works hard, always trying to improve, great competitor. Pancho Zaragoza, another junior, probably play left field and center field when Cade's pitching. Andrew Childers, in outfield. Landon New will be in the outfield for us. They're both juniors. Catching will have Clay Vanderplug, a junior. Also, Dylan Burton will probably catch some for us. Matt Boland will catch some for us. Matt will play the outfield also. Let's see. With a 41-man roster, it's kind of hard to keep up with everybody.
Of course, you guys play a lot of JV games, so kids see a lot of action. You hear 41, and some folks might kind of, whoa, but, you've got a full JV schedule that you play. Now, they may not always get to play a full game, but they do get to see some action. And I know you guys are constantly always working those younger kids in.
Oh, yeah. We work everybody. Everybody gets the same number of swings in batting practice, the same number of reps. We try to, get everybody improving all the time. We actually have a pitching staff 12 deep.
Oh, my. Now, that can be tough to distribute to baseball.
Yeah, and actually – I would put our pitching staff up against anyone in the state. We've got John Phipps throwing in the low 90s. He's committed to Ohio University. He's a junior.
Good baseball program.
Yeah, he's got a big upside. Throws a lot of strikes, throws it hard.
Had a son that played football at Ohio University, so it's a good school.
Yeah,
I like it real well.
Gotcha. Hank MacArthur, a left-hander, low 80s. He's really had a good spring, a lot of good bullpens, been doing really well. Drew Johnson, again, center for the football team. He pitches well, is playing first base, and has been doing a really good job at the plate.
He's going to be a little intimidating when he's on the mound, I would think. He is a large specimen of a human being.
He is, and he's a great kid. He's been working hard and doing real well this spring. One thing about it with the football guys and the basketball guys, these guys are used to winning, and they expect to win, so that's a good thing.
talking moments ago with Coach Brittany Dorsey Murphy of the softball team, and we mentioned that you know, it's been a pretty good year. And honestly, I had said to her, starting with football, but really let's go all the way back to last spring. You guys got on a pretty good run yourselves and made an appearance in the state semi-state championship here in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. But yeah, athletically, Somerset has been on an absolute roll. I mean, it's a fine school academic wise and all of that. Talk to us a little bit about how you can use that and how that just builds family and camaraderie and all of that, because you do have to share a lot of athletes.
We do. Several guys play both sports. Dakota Acey, I failed to mention him.
Sure.
He's going to play a lot of first base. He's going to play in the outfield. Pitcher had a big spring for us last year. One of the main reasons we made it as region champions. If I had to have a game that I had to win, I'd take Dakota. He's a great kid, works really hard. Some of the other pitchers, freshman Josh Gross, Jake Witt. Josh Gross is going to do a lot for us. Plays infield, pitches some. He's going to see some varsity time, I would think. Also, Jack Bruner's another freshman. Some sophomores that we have, Jaden Bryant and Bailey Burton. Bailey, sidearm pitcher, probably get a lot more innings for a team that wasn't as deep, but I could see him being a closer because he's doing really well, sidearm, and you see a pitcher throwing 90 and then you have a sidearmer coming in after it. A lot of times that's a problem. Getting back to your Somerset question, you know, I had 3 kids graduate from Somerset High School, and they've all done really well. I see a lot of their friends doing really well in school. A lot of the kids that we had in our program are being successful in college and other things, and I'm really proud to say I'm a Briar Jumper. Didn't graduate from there, but I think I've earned my stripes as a Briar Jumper.
Indeed you have. Catch your breath there a moment, Coach, and we'll come back here talk a little bit more. But while we're got a moment, want to remind folks to come on out. We still got a couple more coaches after Coach Sandin to come up. We have still got to hear from Pulaski County High baseball coach Josh Anderson, and then Coach Jared Sumner, the head coach of the Southwestern Warriors softball team. He will be up here momentarily as well. We got $1.29 chicken tenders right here at Buffalo Wings and Rings. You got come out, get you a whole sack full of them, you know. And talking to our camera guy Jeremiah earlier, he's like, "Well, how many can I get for that?" I've seen Jeremiah eat. He's going to put a hurting on him tonight. But also, Interest Counseling Services is here with all sorts of fun door prizes and giveaways. Come join all the fun here at Buffalo Wings and Rings. We're at Stoplight 23, just across from the mall. This is Quick Care Walk-In Clinic's presentation of high school sports, and also presented by the Don Franklin of Somerset family of dealerships. And we want to thank them and everybody else that helps us to do this. And Coach Sandin, while we got a minute, of course, you're not the only coach on this team. We mentioned Coach Grundy, unable to be here. Let me ask you, have you got through your roster pretty good? I know it was a big and lengthy one. If there any other players you'd like to mention on there?
Sure.
And you're not leaving anybody out on purpose. I know there's a lot of names.
Right. I didn't mention Logan Purcell, a pitcher infielder coming off basketball team. Christian Lay played basketball. He's an outfielder. Matt Shad Owens, dealing with some shoulder issues, and Jacob Stevens actually going to start pitching for us at Dunbar on Friday. So he's a junior, is doing real well in the outfield. Our coaches, Coach Grundy, he's a great guy. I'm amazed at his baseball knowledge, and he can remember a play 3 years ago in a game and exactly what the count was, who was pitching, who the ball was hit to. It's amazing sometimes. I keep all the stats, so, you know, if I forget what happened at a game or I get it wrong, you can ask him and he'll know for sure. Mike Reynolds works with the school, baseball player, great knowledge, great guy. Been working really well with the kids. David Aiken, he's a counselor at the school, but he's been with the basketball team also. He's with us. Kevin Wallace, Jim MacArthur, both both are the other coaches. So we've got a big staff, but we try to work the kids, and I think we enjoy practices in baseball as much as the kids do, and we try to pass that love for baseball on to the kids.
Well, and you mentioned practices in baseball. You're probably getting tired of practice. I'm sure the kids are as you're getting ready to open up the season. You mentioned you have a scrimmage at Dunbar this Friday. Is that right?
Yes.
And then your season opens up, never an easy place to play, at Mercer County, always a 12th region favorite. And, man, that's a tough opener to get started with. But why not, huh?
That's right. That's right. They're a tough team. Their field actually has a hill in the outfield, so that'll test our outfielders as well. But, yeah, we have a tough schedule. Then the following, I think we've got a couple games next week, and then we play in a SARE tournament against Boyle County and Simon Kenton the following weekend. It's a breast cancer fundraiser that SARE puts on. But we've got a tough schedule. Most of the time we end up getting everybody's ace because everybody wants to beat Somerset, and it gets us ready for postseason. So,
indeed. And notice this year, and I mentioned the same thing with the softball program, you don't have any trips, big out-of-town trips like you have normally done. Is there a reason behind that, or is it just something that didn't work out this year?
It didn't work out this year. In the past, we've gone to Florida. I had several trips to Florida. One thing that happened is our All-A tournament. The region is at Danville this year, and they scheduled it the first Saturday of our spring break. So we've got to keep everybody home, going to play Bergen first, and then the winner of Washington County and Danville. Hopefully we'll get through that and get to the state tournament for All-A. But last year we gave the kids spring break off, and we won region. So coach is a little superstitious, so I'd say, we probably won't be going back until –
something changes.
He actually said if we win region or state this year, this is my job from now on. So I want to win. I'm not really thrilled about doing this, but if I'll take that trade. So
got to appreciate a guy like that, a true baseball guy, superstitious.
Yes.
That's one of the great things about the game, and there have been some good ones there. You're absolutely right. But you mentioned about not going unless you're giving them off, because it is a grinding schedule. And do you feel like maybe some of these teams, they burn kids out a little too early, so you're going to take advantage of being fresh going into postseason? Is that the plan?
Yes, I think it is, and actually that worked well for us last year, because in years past we would play 8 or 9 games over spring break, and we'd come back with some dead arms, and we'd have to recuperate. So that's helped us last year. I think it helped us for the postseason run. We had a lot of guys step up postseason, and we were extra innings and not getting out of district. So a lot of things had to go our way. PC played us really tough last year, and I think it was 2-1 in 9 innings. So
we've got just a minute or so left. Is there anybody else you'd like to mention, thank, while you have the microphone?
Just like to, thank Coach Grundy for giving me the opportunity to help with baseball program and the administration. Our school does a lot for us. We've got a great hitting facility. Our field's great. Hopefully one of these days we'll get turf like the football field. But we've been able to get up and take practice on the turf of the football field. So we appreciate the football team sharing with us, and appreciate Coach Dunbar's let our guys come over and work a little bit during basketball season. Everybody gets together, and everybody has to play multiple sports. So we appreciate that, and the school support, spirit, and all that. So.
Well, you get started with a scrimmage Friday, and then on the 16th, it's at Mercer County. Want to wish you the best of luck. Thanks for taking time to come visit with us. Tell Coach Grundy we did miss him. We always like to give him a hard time. And looking forward to coming over there to, have a big old time at Somerset's ball field. One of the finest facilities. We're blessed with baseball facilities in this county, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it, Coach.
All right. I appreciate it.
Thank
you very much.
Appreciate you. That is James Hayden of the Somerset High School baseball team. We're going to step out, take a break, and when we come back, we'll be hearing from Southwestern softball coach Well, he's here. We're going to hear from him after this.
Oh, it's time to auction. Who you gonna call? Whether it's a farm, home, personal, or commercial property, Ford Brothers Auctioneers bring home the bacon for your next auction. On-site, online, simulcast. Whatever works best for you, that's what we do. Award-winning marketing to support your auction. And FordBrothersInc.com has the most unique visitors for auctions in the market. Give us a call for your next auction. At Ford Brothers, we're selling the country.
Blakely Honda offers complimentary lifetime powertrain protection with every qualifying new and pre-owned vehicle we sell. Engine covered, transmission covered, drive axles covered for life. You're covered as long as you own it. And that's on every qualifying new and pre-owned car, truck, van, and SUV, even diesel trucks. Shop with complete confidence and peace of mind with Alton Blakely's complimentary lifetime powertrain protection program. Alton Blakely Honda, South Highway 27 Somerset, and abhonda.com.
Don't feel great? Just can't wait? Quick Care's open late. Just walk in for accidents and illnesses or for health services like physicals and flu shots. Quick Care Walk-In Clinic at Med Park West for over a decade on Hale Knob Road, just behind the hospital.
To us, Kentucky is a great place to live, work, and play. At Toyota of Somerset, your dreams are important, and we love making them come true. If it's a new Toyota car, truck, SUV, or van, certified pre-owned or used vehicle, we've got you covered. Always a great selection, and we'll welcome your credit application and trade-in. And always a great deal. We're open until the last customer is served. So come on in.
We're all about.
So it's time to auction. Who you gonna call? Whether it's a farm, home, personal, or commercial property, Ford Brothers Auctioneers bring home the bacon for your next auction. On-site, online, simulcast. Whatever works best for you, that's what we do. Award-winning marketing to support your auction. And FordBrothersInc.com has the most unique visitors for auctions in the market. Give us a call for your next auction. At Ford Brothers, we're selling the country.
Don't feel great? Just can't wait? Quick Care's open late. Just walk in for accidents and illnesses or for health services like physicals and flu shots. Quick Care Walk-In Clinic at Med Park West for over a decade on Hale Knob Road, just behind the hospital.
Good evening. This is Michael Gregg with LakeCumberlandSports.com. I'm here with head ball coach of the Southwestern Lady Warriors, Jared Sumner. Coach Sumner, how you doing?
All right, you?
Doing great. Coach, I appreciate you coming out and joining us tonight. We're here tonight to kind of spotlight your team and talk about the upcoming season. Before we do that, let's talk just briefly about last year. What I have, last year you finished up the campaign 22-10, undefeated in District 5-0, 48th District champions, and go on to the 12th region and fall in the first round against West Jess. Talk to us a little bit about last year's season, Coach.
We only lost one senior, Callie Burton. She's a shortstop. She's playing at Lindsey Wilson now. We finished 22-10, like you said. Fell short in the region. Looking to build on that this year and make some noise in the region for change.
Absolutely. So we're just to let our listeners know, Southwestern Lady Warriors competes in the 48th district. That's a 3-team district, correct, Coach?
Yes.
Wayne County Cardinals and Macquarie County Lady Raiders.
Yep.
Coach, talk to us about your squad this year. I've got, and thank you very much for sending me some information. I emailed Coach Sumner. He was kind enough to get that information back to me. And to plug Coach Sumner real quick, he's a great supporter of Lake Cumberland sports during football season, always communicating with Josh McKinney and I.
Yeah.
We've kind of plugged some fundraisers you guys have had, so we appreciate that, Coach.
I appreciate everything you all do for us. After we lost the radio a couple years ago, having an organization like you all really benefits us, the kids, and the community sponsorship.
Well, we appreciate it, and we like spotlighting our student athletes, and we know the work that goes in from the coaches and these young ladies, and we just appreciate what you all do because we know it's a tireless job, and during the season you barely have time to see your family, look up, and you got lives outside of ball, but during season probably not so much. But, Coach, you've got your senior break. You got 4 seniors on your squad, 7 juniors, 8 sophomores, and 5 freshmen. Talk to us about your girls on your squad this year.
Our pitchers, we got the same 2 pitchers back. Caitlin Gwynn, she's a junior. She's led us in hitting for the last 2 years. Lily Turpin, she'll get some time on the mound as well. Sophomore Jessie Begley, she's out right now with a knee injury. She gets back, she'll get a little time on the mound. And we got a little freshman, Sydney Hanson. She's been really impressive this spring. She's probably impressed, as much as anybody. She's impressed anybody.
Awesome. So you had mentioned to me that this is about the deepest team you've had since you've been at the helm. Coach, you said 6 years at the helm of the Southwestern Lady Warriors. So how do you think that's going to play into the success of the season?
Well, we talked about it the other day. We have at least 13, 14 girls that I'd be comfortable starting with on varsity at any time. We've not had that before. Even last year, there's always been, a spot or two here and there. It's kind of shaky, and you had 2 or 3 girls fighting for that spot. Well, now we've got 4 or 5 girls fighting to get in the starting lineup. Girls that are capable of playing. Somebody goes down, next person up. But I really think this will be the deepest team we've had.
Awesome. And competition on team sports, never a bad thing.
No.
Never a bad thing.
Not.
And so
when you're not getting pushed, you get lackadaisical and, or not working hard because, nobody behind you is going to take your spot. It's better when you have somebody driving you to keep your spot.
And I think you already mentioned the young lady that you said was having knee surgery, maybe on hiatus right now.
She had torn meniscus. She'll probably be our shortstop. Some shortstop, some outfield when she gets back.
That's Jessie Begley.
Jessie Begley, she's a couple weeks away. Everything goes good with rehab and stuff like that. She should be back by spring break.
And you mentioned Sydney Hanson already. Any other new additions to your squad that may make a name for themselves here in this upcoming season?
There's some young girls that got some talent. We'll see. Natalie Dalton's the one that can get some playing time. Erin Hensley. She's been working hard. Emma Green, she come out. She's a junior. It's her first year playing high school. She doubled in the inter squad today. They just got to get there and put the work in. Okay, and you said inter squad. So has your team had opportunity to do scrimmages at this point? Yes, Coach. We went to Tennessee last Saturday and scrimmaged 3 games. Yeah, 3 1-hour scrimmages. We won 2 and lost 1. Played 3 pretty good teams down there. I was pleased with the 2 wins. The loss we had, we made several errors, kicked it around. It's early. We've not had a whole lot of time on the field, not as much as you'd like to have, but it's not as much as we've had in the past. But and you're pitching down there in your scrimmages, Coach? Yes, look good. Caitlin Gwynn pitched the first game. I think she gave up 2 hits in 3 innings, and we won the first game 7-0. Awesome. Okay, so as you approach this season, what are your goals for this squad in 2020? It's always, win the district first. Like to make some noise in the region, Every year I've been there, we've been out the first game in the region. It's time that we step up and make some noise in the region for change. And so educate me a little bit. So district play, do you know right now where you're going to be playing that district tournament at this year? The district tournament will be at Southwestern this year. So you hear that, fans? If we win the district, we get to host the region this year, the way it's rotating. Okay, so challenge for the fans to come out to the exactly. What do you call your field over there at Southwestern? I think they call it the Warpath. The Warpath, okay. Yeah. So encourage fans to come out to the Warpath and get that district championship, and you get to host the region, which will be an exciting thing for all local schools, but particularly for Southwestern to be hosted. If you've not had a chance to get out there, it's worth coming just to see the field. Come enjoy a game. We've got a great concession stand. Come see the field. It's one of the nicest fields in Central Kentucky. Yeah, the county does things. I think does things well. Yeah. Well, we've got some great boosters. Don Franklin, Ed Barnes, Ed and Linda Barnes. They're big boosters, Southwestern softball, and it goes on down the line. We sell 80 to 85 signs a year to hang on the fence, and it's the community really comes along and supports the program. Awesome. Coach, talk to me about your coaching staff. I know there's the head coach. Yeah. Talk to us about round out that coaching staff. Well, little Sumner over there, he thinks he's the head coach most of the time. Okay, now is that your son? Yeah, that's him. All right, okay, I seen him over there. Keith Kosmecki, he's my pitching coach. He handles all the pitching. He's the first day I got the job. That's the first phone call I made was Keith Kosmecki. I was talking the other day about Keith, and, he's been there 6 years with me ever since day one, and not one time have I ever questioned anything he's done. He handles all the pitching. I never know who's pitching until we get there. When he makes a pitching change, he handles all that. Then Kevin Dalton, he's come on last year with us. He's been a big help. He works in the infield, outfield. He works with hitting, throws BP every day. Tireless. He's there all the time. When I'm there, he's there. Awesome. Yeah. Is that complete your coaching staff, yes. Coach? Well, Jethro there. He thinks,
and Little Sumner?
Yeah, Little Sumner.
Okay.
He thinks he's the.
And you mentioned briefly about your boosters. Anybody else you want to talk to that boosters? I know how much their support means to program and to the success of a program.
Yeah. Ed and Linda Barnes, they've always been a big booster. Gary Sewell at Sports Den, he's a big booster. He helps us out anything we need. And just the support staff at the school, the administration, Miss Ellis, Mr. Kress, Coach Butcher, and Alex Eaton, that new athletic director. It helps when you've got, 3 of those 4 have been coaches before, so they understand what you're going through. And when you need something, they understand the importance of, having that for the girls.
Right. And you talked briefly, of course, about Southwestern hosting that district tournament. Yeah. And I know because I've attended football games, basketball games, and with Lake Cumberland Sports, and also when I'm not working, just as a fan because I enjoy high school sports.
Absolutely.
But what's the challenge that high school athletics faces trying to get students out in the stands? Like, how do you try to increase student attendance at ball games?
Well, we across the board, we tried to make an attempt to get better student participation, like in the student section, stuff like that. But this year we're going to have like a student night where they pay to get in, they get a hot dog and a drink, something like that. We're turning the bleachers around on the soccer field, so we'll have a student section out there in the outfield if they want to do that. And we're just going to try to push it that way, just to get more. We have a lot of turnout. Like, we go to a lot of places on the road, and a lot of times we have bigger crowd than the home team does. A lot of the younger kids, they come to watch. They all got friends. We got 24 girls on the team, and they like to come out and support. And I have kids at school that I've built rapport with through whether it be discipline issues, I get to know them and stuff, and they ask all the time, when's your first softball game? They like coming out and watching it.
Yeah.
You build rapport with the kids. The better rapport you can build with the kids and the students in the school, the more they'll want to come out and support you and the team.
So, Coach, you've talked about your starting pitchers, and you mentioned Gwen and Turpin. Walk us through for our listeners at home. If you have a kind of a starting lineup kind of set, I know you're deep, and that's a blessing to have as a ball coach. If you're playing a ball game tomorrow, walk me through your starting lineup, and we'll start in the outfield. So who's your starting outfielders?
Madison Gaskin, she'll play center field. She'll play some center and some left. Hannah Thompson, she's a sophomore, got a really good arm. She's really come along this spring. She's really impressed. She'll play some center and left field too. Right field right now, it's a toss-up. I got 3 girls that's fighting for a spot in right field, and I tell them, you got to hit it, you got to catch it. Amy Johnson, Alyssa Riley, Marissa Lovelace is back out from basketball season's over, so she's just starting to get the swing of things. She's a couple weeks away from being ready to play. Infield-wise, senior Ellie Conley and Ashton Hines will be splitting time at third, and Hines has to play a little bit of shortstop too until Begley gets back, and then Begley and Olivia Wiles and Ashton they'll be the short, second, third. Splitting time. Whoever takes the lead and takes the spot's what I've told them. And first base, Olivia Ulrich will play there some. She'll catch a lot. Leah Thacker will catch some. And Taylor Nelson, she's a sophomore, just got back in basketball. She'll get some time at first base. But that's like I said, every spot, there's somebody right there pushing for playing time.
So come out and join us tonight at Buffalo Wings and Rings for the first annual softball and baseball coaches show for 3 local high schools. Tonight's specials, $1.29 chicken tenders apiece. Interest Counseling Service is here with all sorts of fun door prizes and giveaways. Make sure you register if you've not done so already and you're in the house. Come join the fun at Buffalo Wings and Rings, stoplight 23 across from Somerset Mall. Coach, looking at your schedule, pretty loaded, pretty a gauntlet, if you will. And I put an asterisk beside you've got a home matchup against Pulaski on March 29th.
Yep.
I could not find another matchup against Pulaski on the schedule, and I assume you're going to do a home and home.
No, we're just playing one time.
One time.
Yep.
Okay, so
had trouble working out a date with them, and finally just got a date worked out last week.
Okay, and so I know I encourage you to come to all the games, but March 29th, that Crosstown game, going to be at the Warpath.
Yep.
That's right,
Warpath. Boyle County the next night.
Boyle County next night, and if you've not
top 6 in the state.
Wow, and if you've not looked at the schedule, when the schedule starts, you don't have many nights off.
No.
And it's going to be kind of weather
dependent.
That's
the way you like it. I mean, I'm tired of practicing.
Yeah, I'm sure the girls are too.
They're tired of practicing. Once you get started, it flies by.
Sure. And I noticed, too, on the schedule, you play, like Wayne County, for example, you play Wayne at their place, then they come right back to you.
That's
so you get that same team.
I try to get them to do that the last couple of years. That way, if the weather's nice, we can get those 2 district games in on Monday and Tuesday and be done with it. Last year, well, in the past, it's been split up. You get rain out, then you're trying to play on Wednesday and stuff like that. But we talked to them at the district meeting last fall, right before district tournament, got them switch it to that. I think that'll work out really well.
Okay. Coach, any other – I know we're getting close on time, but any other of your players you want to talk about? I know we've got large roster, and you've talked about several of your girls. Anybody else you want to talk about while we're on the air here?
Grace Acre, she's a tireless worker. If they all worked as hard as Grace Acre, we'd be in great shape. You know Grace?
I do know Grace. She went to Nancy Elementary, where I work at.
Yeah. Brooklyn Markham, she works hard. She's going to get some playing time in the outfield. And my freshmen are Natalie Dalton, Kaylee Devine, Sydney Hanson, I mentioned first, Aaron Hensley, and Amber Thacker. That pretty much rounds. I think I mentioned everybody there, I hope. If not, I'll hear about it tomorrow. Emma Green, like I said, she's a junior that's come out this year. She's got a chance to get some playing time when she gets some work in. And Madison Mullins, she's a junior, came out this year.
Awesome. And so, also, your first home game, you mentioned you played Boyle County prior to Pulaski County. Is that right, or right after? Right after Pulaski County. First home matchup is against Bale County on March 21st at the Warpath, and that's going to be a 1 o'clock afternoon game. That's probably a Saturday. Have looked at the calendar.
Yeah, we play a triangle with Bale County and Oneida, Tennessee.
Okay. Start the season on the road at Russell County. Again, so 12th region has a lot of powerhouse teams. Pulaski was in here a little earlier, and we know that they've got a pretty solid squad as well across town. So if I asked you right now, like, who are the top-tier teams in the 12th region that you've kind of got your eyes on? How would you answer that?
Boyle County, I think, Boyle County and Pulaski, I think, are the top 2. Rock Castle's right there. Any given night, Rock Castle's pitcher can shut you down. Garrett County still got the Pizzuto kid. They're going to be pretty good. But, I think we're right there at the 5-6, and just depending on how we play and just the big matchups, that's what we got to step up. When we play the big teams, we got to play well. In the past, we've done good at beating the teams we're supposed to beat. Here and there, we'll step up and beat a team that, people don't think we're going to beat. But, it's time to step up and start beating those teams on a consistent basis.
And so I'm going to flash back to last year. You mentioned you lost Callie Burton, and that's the only player you lost off last year's team. So looking back at last year, so the girls you've got coming back this year, which one of those, talk about their performance and production last year and how you think that's going to translate into this following season.
Caitlin Gwynn, she's led us in hitting the last 2 years. Madison Gasson's led us in home runs. Olivia Wiles, she was ranked in the state last year in extra base hits. It just rounds out. I mean, any night, we have Olivia Ulrich hit it well last year. But we have any night, we could have any player on the team go 4 for 4. We could have any player on the team go 0 for 4. But our main thing is defense and pitching. If we can pitch well, play good defense, we can beat anybody. We were second in the state last year in runs per game. We can hit it a little bit, but the main thing is catching it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Coach, we're getting down to less than 2 minutes, and I know you had a young man I think you wanted to get some airtime.
Hey, come here, boy.
I think Little Sumner's going to has a word to say for the
Sumner,
Warrior family.
He's got a message for the Warrior Nation.
All right, you heard it here first. Again, this is Michael Gregg with LakeCumberlandSports.com. I'm here with Coach Jared Sumner. Coach, best of luck to you.
I'd like to thank my wife for letting me do what I do. And she gives me a lot of leeway on being away from home. My little girl at home, too, Amelia, she's 15 months old, and I get to spend a lot of time with him. I told somebody today he's got a better record of practice than any of the girls. He ain't missed one all year. So when I pick him up from school, he's, are we inside or outside? He's ready to go. So
that's awesome.
But I like to thank them, the administration and stuff for Southwestern for supporting us the way they do.
Awesome. Well, Coach, it's been a pleasure. I appreciate you joining us tonight. And again,
I appreciate you all for doing what you all do.
I appreciate you during football season, kind of keeping McKinney and I in line and letting us.
Somebody has to keep McKinney in line.
Letting us kind of help plug your program, and we appreciate the support you give to us. So again, best of luck this season
I thank all my boosters and parents too. They do a lot of work that takes a lot of load off me, for sure.
All right. Well, Coach, again, best of luck to you this year.
I appreciate it.
This is Michael Gregg and Coach Jared Sumner signing off.
It's time to auction. Who you going to call? Whether it's a farm, home, personal, or commercial property, Ford Brothers Auctioneers bring home the bacon for your next auction. On-site, online, simulcast. Whatever works best for you, that's what we do. Award-winning marketing to support your auction. And FordBrothersInc.com has the most unique visitors for auctions in the market. Give us a call for your next auction. At Ford Brothers, we're selling the country.
Blakely Honda offers complimentary lifetime powertrain protection with every qualifying new and pre-owned vehicle we sell. Engine covered, transmission covered, drive axles covered for life. You're covered as long as you own it. And that's on every qualifying new and pre-owned car, truck, van, and SUV, even diesel trucks. Shop with complete confidence and peace of mind with Alton Blakely's complimentary lifetime powertrain protection program. Alton Blakely Honda, South Highway 27 Somerset, and abhonda.com.
Don't feel great? Just can't wait? Quick Care's open late. Just walk in for accidents and illnesses or for health services like physicals and flu shots. Quick Care Walk-In Clinic at Med Park West for over a decade on Hale Knob Road, just behind the hospital.
To us, Kentucky is a great place to live, work, and play. At Toyota of Somerset, your dreams are important, and we love making them come true. If it's a new Toyota car, truck, SUV, or van, certified pre-owned or used vehicle, we've got you covered. Always a great selection, and we'll welcome your credit application and trade-in. And always a great deal. We're open until the last customer is served. So come on in.
We're all about.
So it's time to auction. Who you going to call? Whether it's a farm, home, personal, or commercial property, Ford Brothers Auctioneers bring home the bacon for your next auction. On-site, online, simulcast. Whatever works best for you, that's what we do. Award-winning marketing to support your auction. And FordBrothersInc.com has the most unique visitors for auctions in the market. Give us a call for your next auction. At Ford Brothers, we're selling the country.
Don't feel great? Just can't wait? Quick Care's open late. Just walk in for accidents and illnesses or for health services like physicals and flu shots. Quick Care Walk-In Clinic at Med Park West for over a decade on Hale Knob Road, just behind the hospital.
I think you're good. This is Michael Gregg with LakeCumberlandSports.com. I'm here with head ball coach of the Pulaski County Maroons, Josh Anderson. Coach Anderson, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great.
Great. I really appreciate you joining us tonight. Our goal tonight is to spotlight your team.
Yes.
With a positive spin. Talk about your players, talk about your team, talk about you, Coach. Yeah. Coach, before we get into the nitty-gritty, we'll flash back briefly to last season.
Yeah.
Last season, overall record 12-15.
Yep.
2-5 in the district, 47th district. You play in a tough district. You got Rockcastle, Somerset, Rock, and I said Rock already, and Casey. But you got a gauntlet district you're competing in.
Yeah.
And if for those of you that may not be aware, that first round district matchup Pulaski had was against Somerset Briar Jumpers, and it was a 13-inning affair that I just shared with Coach Anderson right before we come on the air. I listened to that game myself on Lake Cumberland Sports. It didn't come out. I should have came out and heard what was equivalent of almost 2 full baseball games, and it was a 2-1 affair. And talked about the 12-15 record, but you were that close to knocking off the eventual region champ, Somerset Briar Jumpers. So highly competitive squad. And in that matchup, I know because it's a very tight matchup, a lot of I heard Drew Polson's name mentioned a lot behind the plate. And, a pass ball could end the game, and there was several, I think, close calls there. So real quick, I'm going to ask about Drew because we covered football too, and he had an injury. My understanding was he's going to be out the baseball season. Is that correct?
Yeah, we just waiting to see. We're kind of at the mercy of whatever the physicians, doctors, and those that's treating him. But we don't anticipate him being ready to go off the bat. If for some reason he can go later in the season, obviously we'd love to have him.
Sure.
We'd use him in some capacity, but we're kind of just waiting to see what the trainers and the doctors will say.
And that was my understanding. I just wanted to say that. But so, Coach, last season behind you, several key players coming back. What are you looking like? What are your team goals as you look forward to the 2020 baseball season?
I think, one of the good things that's happened over the last couple of years is we have competed very good at the end of the season and into the tournament. My goal as a coach, and I think our team goal this year is, we want to compete hard every game, and I think that's every team's want. But we want to see us go forward every day and get better. And, I mean, we have a 30-plus game season, and what I told our players is every game that we play is for preparation for that big district game. And, our district matchups in April are important because it seeds us for the tournament. But our games throughout the season are there for us to figure out who we are and what we're about and what we need to do, what adjustments we need to make. But overall, we want to play good baseball going into the district tournament. And obviously you want to finish with a good week because you want that momentum that carries you into that tournament. But I told our guys I don't want to go backwards. I don't want to play 10, 15 games and then start taking steps back. If we're competing, whether we're winning or losing, I want to be in games, I want to be competing, and I want to be getting better. And that's the mindset I want our players to have, and there's going to be things that we'll have to battle.
Sure.
You ain't always going to feel good. It's going to be cold. You ain't always going to be hot at the plate, or you may not always be on your game locating pitches on the mound. But if we can just get to a mindset of just compete, and go out there and play the game the best that we can and hopefully, work on the things we need to work on and move forward every day, I think we can end up where we've been in the last couple of years, and that's right in the dogfight at the end.
Yeah.
And that's all we can ask for.
And, Coach, from that team last year, you bring back a lot of seniors.
Yeah.
So talk to me about the kids that are returning that were key contributors last year.
That's a good question. We have a lot of guys that's returning this year that got a lot of action last year and was in that big game at the end against Somerset. We have the two pitchers that pitched that game. I think Adams threw around 75 pitches of that game, and then you had Alex Acey, who threw about 113 pitches that game. Wow. So those guys are back on our staff. Adams is a junior, and he has does a great job for us, not just as a leadoff hitter and a starting pitcher, but he's also our shortstop. And we'll have him and Alex Acey, who will kind of anchor our pitching rotation. Alex Acey's just a unique guy who got a lot of opportunities last year, made the most of them, made a name for himself. Those two guys will help us. And then we get, overall we got 8 seniors. So having senior leadership is important for every ball club. I think just having veteran leadership, guys that's been around, and the seniors that are seniors for us this year have been with me since they were in 8th grade. So they've kind of had a little bit of dose of varsity baseball now for 5 years coming in. So that'll help us. And we have a big freshman class coming in of about 13. And I think having just the balance of 13 freshmen with the returning 8 seniors, there's a good balance there, and I think it's healthy. And
it should allow you to reload fairly effectively.
Reload, and the freshmen can learn from the seniors. And I think it just we finally have some competition too in practice and in spots, and I think having competition all around is just good and healthy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Coach, your coaching staff, we know Josh Anderson, we know the baseball knowledge you bring to the table, and talk about the folks that round out your coaching staff on the Pulaski County Marine squad.
Well, I have been blessed to have good coaches, and I know every coach that's probably talked to you tonight has said that they couldn't do it without their assistant coaches, and that is so true at this level. High school baseball is there's a lot to it, and I have a very good group of coaches. My cousin Alex Price has helped me in the past, and he's helping us a little this year, maybe a little bit less than in the past. I have Kellen Jones back as our pitching coach. He does a great job with our pitchers. And I have Kent Mayfield back in the saddle again this year. He's back and helping, and he was a head coach at Pulaski for a long time. He actually coached me in American Legion baseball when I played summer ball here in Somerset.
You've been around the game for a while.
Been around the game a long time. Has the college experience as a player, but also brings just a lot of knowledge as a coach, and very fundamentally sound and very organized. And so we're thankful to have him on staff this year. And then I have Mark Chapman, who's been with us now this will be his 5th year on staff. So just a good, well-balanced staff. We all, we all work good together. And what I love about my assistants is they're not afraid to tell me what they think, and I want that. I want my assistant coaches to not just say yes to everything, but they are not afraid to speak up. And we meet a lot, and we talk about our team a lot. We talk about our lineup. We talk about scenarios. And I always tell our players, there's nobody that talks about you guys more than we do. We sit around a table all the time. We think about you day and night and what we can do to make us better. And I just appreciate those guys' input, and I respect their knowledge as well of the game.
So, Coach, you had, looking at the 12th region, I'm going to look at that big picture.
Yeah.
Within that 12th region, who are the squads that you feel like are that are going to compete for that 12th region championship? We talked about your district opponents.
Yeah.
But for those, I mean, this region's loaded.
It is. It's tough to get out of our district. You said it right a while ago. Our district is
it's a gauntlet.
It's a gauntlet. It is, and we know the Somerset and Rocks are always strong. I think Boyle County is going to be a really tough team this year. That I think looking at our region, they stack up as good as anybody. They were not healthy last year, and I think won probably 17, 18 games if I ain't mistaken, and they weren't healthy, and they had 3 or 4 of their main guys out, and then I think now they're healthy. And they have a lot of veteran experience and a lot of good athletes that round out their batting order and defense. And then you got Danville. They're going to be tough again with some good athletes, good pitching. Pitching does matter, but, at the end of the day in high school, the teams that can throw strikes, not make errors, and compete at the plate and hit with 2 strikes. I think that's the key to high school baseball. I mean, that's what we want to see from our guys. And if you got that, you're going to have a team that can do some damage.
And you mentioned hitting the ball. So, Coach, you mentioned some of your pitchers you've got returning in that marathon matchup, that those pitchers both returning, and that's going to help your squad.
Yeah.
The kids that played last year, your biggest offensive, kids that swung a big stick, which kids are coming back that's going to really help you? I know Connor Hargis is a name that I looked at your lineup. So, of course, he's the first name, big boy, big brute of a young man.
Right.
Talk to me about your offensive players coming back.
Connor did. He anchored our offense last year in a lot of ways. Have Adams, too, at the top of the order. He had a good season last year, and I expect him to have even better season this year. And I think Adams has kind of flown under the radar, to be honest with you, in our region. But I think that, his name will be rising to the top here. And I think Connor, if we can get the same type of production, if not better, I think he'll even give us more. But, Connor was an East-West All-Star last year. I think he's a 12th region preseason player to watch. He has obviously a big bat for us, but we also are going to have some guys that's seniors now that I think are going to step up this year and do as good as they've ever had. And I also think we got freshmen that are going to be in our lineup that are going to contribute, make a name for themselves this year because of the opportunities they're going to get. And I think there's some that's going to surprise some people maybe.
Coach, I looked at your roster, and you've got a ton of athletes because I know some of these kids. And what jumped off the page at me was that a lot of these kids are multi-sport athletes.
Right.
And at the high school level, it is tough. I mean, they're student athletes.
Right.
The classroom work doesn't disappear for these young men.
Right.
And so there's a lot of families at home hopefully listening to us tonight and thinking, these sports that these kids play are year-round now.
Yes.
I commend you and all the coaches at Pulaski County because they have a lot of kids that are playing multiple sports. But what would you say to parents, coaches, and even players themselves as they are growing up in a society where a lot of these sports are demanding year-round involvement? So how do you manage that?
It's tough. I think a lot of times people get kind of brainwashed with just trying to keep up with what's being demanded of them. They think they got to do this to maintain or keep up with the
Joneses.
With the Joneses. And I really believe that you got to really be careful with just the amount of workload on a young person. I mean, especially a baseball player in their arm. I mean, it's not so much that if you pitch you're going to get hurt. It's more about how many throws you make. I mean, I don't think we're very cautious of how many throws we make. And some of these kids that are young, they're pitching and then they're catching and they're playing shortstop. And when they're not pitching and throwing all those pitches, they're at shortstop making all those throws. And it's just we need to pay attention to the workload of the amount of throws that we're making. And then I think proper technique and teaching kids the right fundamentals and stuff like that at an early age is so important because we get kids now that throw from 3/4 to sidearm, throwing balls in from the outfield, and just little things you watch young kids, and I think proper technique and proper mechanics and then just workload stuff is all important. But I like a player that's an athlete. I think, I played at a college. My college coach at Eastern once said that I asked him, what kind of players do you recruit? And he said, it's very simple. I recruit middle of the top field players, the shortstops, the center fielders, the second baseman, because those guys are good athletes and they can play anywhere when I get them to this level. And most coaches today, with you talk to these big schools, they want competitors and they want good athletes. And I think these players that play other sports, not only does it keep them, it keeps them active, but it kind of keeps them from getting burnt out. Mm-hmm. They're shifting gears. They're playing another sport. And I think just the shifting of gears and playing other sports kind of keeps you hungry when you're in the sport that you're in. It doesn't get you too fatigued and burnt out. You just focus on what you're doing now, and then you get a little break, and then let's go on to the next one. And I think that's good.
Absolutely.
I think it's good.
And I want to commend you and Coach Fraley and Coach Hines. It seems like you've got it figured out how to share these folks, because you've got a lot of your key players are key football players, key basketball players, and I think that's just – I'm impressed by these young men that can balance that schedule. Yeah. I'm impressed by the parents that can haul them back and forth. Like they're probably trading vehicles every year because of the mileage they put on them. But it's just impressive to see. And again, the classwork, because these kids are champions in the classroom too, and really first. And I know that's what the coaches really emphasize that.
Right.
Coach, a successful program has successful boosters. You want to talk to me briefly about how your booster program supports what you're doing over there at Pulaski?
Oh, man. We've had, I tell you, booster program, I've been talking about them lately, and it's been good. I mean, I'm really blessed with good parents that have stepped in. I know Melissa Lancaster, she stepped in, the year before. Last year, she was the president and really kind of set a good tone, and she had some good help. We got Sharon Adams and Amy Poston and just a lot of good people behind the scenes that are doing great work for our program, and they are out there for the kids trying to raise money to support and meet the needs of what we need at the field, and that you have to have that in order to have nice things and to be able to be safe as well, but also have a place that you can be proud of. And when people pop up or go to your field, they see something that somebody takes pride in. And
absolutely.
None of that stuff can happen if money's not raised. And
right.
I know we all hate to raise money because everybody in the world has to do it.
And all at the same time.
All at the same time.
Yeah.
And everybody has to have banquets, and we all got to do fundraisers with all these different sports. But these, we've tried to be creative. We do a Swing in the Spring event every year that we do at Pulaski. It's worked out great.
I saw some photos of that. That looked really nice.
It's different. It's something that, and everybody's got to be creative. We try to come up with some different things. And the booster, the booster club that we have right now, they are very creative, and they've been just wonderful about getting after it and sharing the workload.
Yeah,
I think a lot of times one person thinks they have to do it all.
And that looked like a unique event. I know we're getting down to about the last 5 minutes. So if fans are wanting to follow what's going on with Pulaski County Maroons, is there a way to keep Twitter page, Facebook page?
Yeah, we have a Twitter account. Mark Chapman runs it a lot, and we also obviously, I guess we'll be some games on the radio.
I hope so.
I hope so.
I'm not sure what the schedule looks like.
But yeah, the Twitter page we have, and then we try to. I think we do some other social media things. I let Mark tend to that.
I understand.
But we have, and I think just coming out to the ballpark. I encourage people to come out to the ballpark.
Absolutely.
Our local teams, we are blessed in this county to have 3 competitive, good programs with great facilities.
We do,
and a good fan base. And if we can, we need people coming to the ballpark, especially as young kids, because I think just when you bring kids to the ballpark and they can grow up around it and see it, I think it just kind of spreads that love for the game and the passion for the game. And I always tell my kids I want to get them to as many games as I can when I can, whether it's a Reds game or whether it's a Legends game, because when you can take them to a ballpark and they can experience that, a lot of times that passion, that love, carries over from that experience.
Yeah, the little ones that are running around the field today, they're suiting up in a few years.
That's right.
They're on that field.
That's right.
So, Coach, if you're playing soon.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've scrimmaged some already.
Right.
And we're going to talk about the players, and I may have talked off topic a little bit. No. So we play a game tomorrow. You want to go through your starting lineup for us?
I don't have it picked just yet.
Okay.
But
I don't want to spoil anything.
I can tell you some things for sure.
Sure.
I mean, we've got some guys that played last year. Obviously Poston being down hurts us a little bit. We wish, him a speedy recovery. He was our catcher last year. We do know probably Connor Hargis is going to have to catch some this year a little bit. We don't want to put too much of a workload on his legs because he helps us so much offensively too.
Absolutely.
But, we could tell you about AC and Adams on the mound. We're also going to have, Colton Fraley back up from basketball eventually and letting him rest a little bit. He'll be in our starting lineup. And then we're going to have – like I said, some young guys that I don't want to mention names yet because it's a little bit early.
I understand, Coach.
But I have some other seniors too. Ross Schumard's back with us this year, and as an outfielder, has a lot of experience in the outfield as well as Jordan Chapman, who's played in the outfield a lot. And then we got some pitchers that besides just AC and Adams, we also got Owen Alexander, who's going to step into more of a bullpen role this year and pitch for us some. Aiden Wesley's back. Just other guys. I mean, I hate to not go through them all.
I understand.
But we're excited about this bunch, and we're also looking forward to seeing who competes and wins those spots, because there is some spots that will be open. And the thing about this year is, you know, we want guys to go out and compete and have fun and play hard, but you know, there's other guys that's available.
Yeah.
You know, where we're in the past, we've been a little bit limited as far as numbers. Now we have guys that are ready to take those spots if somebody's not getting it done. So
that's a blessing.
So,
Coach, want to encourage our listeners to come out and see the Pulaski County Maroons.
Yep.
Want to thank you again for your time tonight.
Yes, thank you.
And so if you've not seen the Pulaski County Maroons, come out, loaded with senior leadership. Got a lot of young kids pushing those seniors.
Yes.
Again, great luck to you this
Thank
year's
you.
season in the 47th district.
47th
the loaded 47th district.
Loaded.
We wish you the best.
Thank
Coach,
you.
thank you for taking
I
time
appreciate
out with us at Lake Cumberland Sports.
Thank you.
This is Michael Gregg with Josh Anderson signing off. Thanks for joining us, folks.
It's time to auction. Who you gonna call? Whether it's a farm, home, personal, or commercial property, Ford Brothers Auctioneers bring home the bacon for your next auction. On-site, online, simulcast. Whatever works best for you, that's what we do. Award-winning marketing to support your auction. And FordBrothersInc.com has the most unique visitors for auctions in the market. Give us a call for your next auction. At Ford Brothers, we're selling the country.
Honda offers complimentary lifetime powertrain protection with every qualifying new and pre-owned vehicle we sell. Engine covered, transmission covered, drive axles covered for life. You're covered as long as you own it. And that's on every qualifying new and pre-owned car, truck, van, and SUV, even diesel trucks. Shop with complete confidence and peace of mind with Alton Blakely's complimentary lifetime powertrain protection program. Alton Blakely Honda, South Highway 27 Somerset, and abhonda.com.
Don't feel great? Just can't wait? Quick Care's open late. Just walk in for accidents and illnesses or for health services like physicals and flu shots. Quick Care Walk-In Clinic at Med Park West for over a decade on Hale Knob Road, just behind the hospital.